prison. Yeah, it's a healing also. It heals you. When you face it, so you come and see it and you feel like it and you feel something in you. Something is touching you.
When you stop, you spoil it. Because we already know the time. So when nobody come, no time. So don't give them.
I took off to the island to work in a medical clinic as an Arabic translator. I spent about a year there, in what was the front line of the refugee crisis in Europe. Not many people knew what was going on in the Aegean. Perhaps just didn't want to know. Though I saw a level of positivity and resilience from the refugees who lived in that camp that I thought people needed to know about. One of the best things about Samos was Yoro, a Gambian drummer and trader he'd owned a successful beach bar back in his home country, until one day he was to find it burnt down, leaving him with nothing. The palpable threat to life and limb brought him to Samos, where he's been for over a year.
The music starts in Samos here, so fantastic since around this December, the instruments have come here, and like as I say, it's so lovely. I so like it.
He started this ragtag group of musicians on the island. Yoro's veranda was a base for the music. Their practice was daily, like clockwork. The sessions became one of the ambient sounds of the camp.
Music, I sleep and I wake up because I always dream about the instrument,
Samos was a crazy place. While the island itself was a big tourist destination, with its beautiful white sand beaches, towering mountains and ancient history, there were thousands of refugees locked up in the middle of it. Some even called it a warehouse of souls. I found it jarring seeing tourists wandering around, returning to their luxury hotels, whilst refugees eked out an existence on a few euros a day. But the music lifted everything. I've never met such a stoic group of people, with the same will to succeed and ambition to make every day a little better than the last. The camp was filthy. Most live in the jungle, a higgledy patchwork of makeshift structures. Rats, scorpions, snakes lurk in the dirt. Bed bugs infest bedding. Few toilets or showers made personal hygiene a challenge. Ezekiel was that rare person you meet who had these wild dreams you felt he could follow through on. He escaped from Sierra Leone after becoming a victim of violent acts by his employer. He'd been in Samos at that point for a year. His songs were catchy and he dressed like he'd already made it. He loved the idea of going to London and always mentioned people he knew from back home who had made it there.
You can live a life on the streets, be straight. I never trust a man in the hood. We stay. I'm Maria Augusta, moving like a monster, never have a disaster.
I was born in the province areas of Sierra Leone, which is Cambia district, and I lost my father, who is growing up with me together. He put me at school at the early age of 11. I came to the city, which is Freetown City. I stayed with my uncle, but my uncle was not interested in sponsoring me at school, so I decided to leave my uncle's place. I went to the streets, started doing rapping, as a musician, because the early age of 7, 8, I like music. I mind music, So people have been seeing talent in me.
Music was important for people. For some like Ezekiel, it was a dream to become a successful artist in Europe. Some picked it up in Samos as a way to pass the long weeks and months. For most, home was the common thread. Music, a connection to the life they had left behind, their home country and the warmth of their family and friends. Emile had left his home country, the Democratic Republic of Congo, after almost daily threats of violence to his person became too much to handle. I always felt Emile was the quintessential artist of the camp. Sensitive, funny, and a natural performer.
Yannick artiste, c'est moi-même. J'aime beaucoup la musique. La musique, c'est une don de famille. Depuis ma terre au Congo RDC, Kinshasa. J'aime beaucoup vraiment la musique. Donc j'ai fait la carrière musique, j'ai fait la musique profane, je vais à la musique chrétienne. C'est pour cela aussi j'ai venu ici en Europe pour travailler avec mes frères blancs. Donc pour faire une grande histoire de mon talent, c'est ça. Lingua greca.
Bozan is originally from Bursa, Turkey, but also lived in Syria for much of his life. Despite the Kurds being a major minority in both Turkey and Syria, they've been the victims of persistent assaults on their ethnic, cultural and religious identity in both countries. After his wife died recently, he's been left to look after their children alone. A craftsman by trade, Bozan hopes to find somewhere safe for his children to go to school and have some stability.
الموسيقى جميلة جدا وهي لغة الشعوب كلها. تأثرت بشخصية معينة في عدة اللغات، في اللغة العربية مثل زي أم كلثوم وغيرها، في اللغة التركية مثل إبراهيم، في الكردية مثل شيفام هروار.
ما تنفعوا بالضيق شر يكدركم. يا يما أنت عزيز النسب والكرات كلها كبار والعيد حارم علي، مبروك وين أصحاب.
هات كردش يعني كم كم هات
انت تحت النور يعني.
لا يعني هات.
The music gave people hope. Whether they were listening to their favorite tunes or making their own, the camp residents had even set up a mini nightclub in the heart of the camp.
My country people, yes, them go talk, them just the parambulates, so story heavy, never no bring light, never no bring light,
My suffering is just a part of me.
The 9 months I'd been in Samos, there'd been one unfortunate event after another. Earthquakes, storms, COVID made everything worse. Uninfected mixed with the infected and bundled into isolation containers under duress. Random curfews. I'd also been there for the fires. The worst started in the early hours on November 10th, 2020. We were working at the clinic when we saw the smoke pouring out of the camp. In the end, the fire destroyed a quarter of homes, and over 1,000 people were displaced. Despite the poor conditions, the unfortunate events, life went on. At the end of January, a friend of mine had decided to leave the camp, so we organised a final performance, a gathering of musicians. It was the biggest turnout yet.
So wonderful, to see all this kind of different country. We are all together, in the refugee camp here. So it's really nice, we just like, we know each other long time.
Somebody to lean on. Oh, man, I'm at I'm a real gangster, moving like a monster. Never having disaster, cause I'm a real master.
Anything you fight it, you want to be it, you can be it. There is nothing cannot possible. Everything can possible about life. So it's not for sleeping, it's not for think when you have to go for it.
Bon, pour moi, l'avenir c'est seulement pour notre Dieu. Comme je vis par sa grâce.
In that secluded bay, we sat and listened as the sound of music rang through the whistling breeze. As the waves crept in, the air was thick with that briny freshness, and the rhythm of the tides became the natural accompaniment to those sweet, soothing voices.
Sakina, encore une chanson.
Navane na mokili nga nazwi mwasi te kasi mobange na ngai nakosala nini nzambe ya mpongo atindeli nga bolingo ekelamu ya nzambe Sakina pesta mokolo na mokolo nga nakosambelaka nzambe abakisela nga mikolo kamuranga na ye yobata ya biso bana osala ya biso libota meye aye nga navandi na mokili nga nazwi mwasi te mobange na ngai nakosala nini nzambe ya mpungu yatindeli nga bolingo ekelamu ya nzambe Sakina